Yesterday's conspiracy theories, tomorrow's headlines. Most are still asleep and I ain't talking about no bedtime. The truth is not a Google search, you need to get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media, and I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the beast is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. You know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Take it down my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out, stop it. I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second nature to me, just to bring this out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out.
Hello. Welcome everybody to the 509 Divine Pines podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Daniel Pena. Hey man, welcome back and thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you guys. If you guys could like, subscribe, and share, tell everybody around that this is going down, man. I have updated things in my life, and so that's why you haven't really seen me, growing out, some facial hair, some braids again. Gonna keep it going. Not just that, my body is sharper than ever. Just had to take some time to think about life and reevaluate, my direction and where I was headed. And I guess ever since last year, when after I got baptized on 420, I don't know, life's been like a roller coaster. Maybe like a mountain I'm trying to climb, and so just facing all sorts of obstacles and gaining new heights, feeling like life is truly destined for what God promises. Not just that, but like what God gives us in our dreams and visions. Like I don't feel like dreams are just a farce. I feel like when you dream and when you create goals and you try to find inspiration through these higher sources of what God is telling us in visions, or what we feel like if we're ever under angelic presence, maybe at church or life-saving instances, things like that. It's more real than ever. And I know that there's a lot of religions and people in authority that like to downplay those type of realities or those type of things, or those type of energies. But we shouldn't be dimming our dreams. And I believe when we pray for it, when we believe in it, when we dream it, when we say it, when we speak it, when we think it, maybe not think, but when we put it out into the universe, maybe verbally, vocally, whatever, it happens, or God hears and God listens. And like, I feel like that is something that society could use more. It almost seems like the term American dream completely changed everybody's mindset of what a real dream is, and them using the ability to dream or to search for true dreaming. But like, the American dream was an ideal. It was an idealistic. It wasn't truly an individual's dream. No, it was what the system was constructing and making and saying, well, this is what the American dream is. The American dream is fancy cars, fancy clothes, big house. And then you look at the opposite side of what they're not telling you in it, it's taxes. It's putting you in positions where you have to um, obey by certain rules if you're driving certain cars, and if you try to make certain companies to live the American dream and get the millions, you have to play by certain rules to have those companies. So the whole idea of American dream, it's kind of diluted who we are by in nature. We are very spiritual beings. We aspire, we think outside the box naturally, but that American dream boxed people in, I think. And I think we could get back to it. We can start dreaming more. We can aspire more. And cultures around the world, they used to like share each other's dreams or share them in positivity, that they knew those messages from the heavens at all times. I'm not going to say that, like, you know, throw your whole life away because of something you see in the dream, because how many times have people dreamed of their partner cheating on them in a dream, and it's been completely a lie, completely BS, and they threw away their whole marriage. Things. So like, nightmares do exist, I guess I would say, in a dreams way, but we should understand that these things, maybe they're saying something that it takes a deeper prophet or shaman or priest or someone who can understand these dreams, takes them to relate it to us, because that's also something the ancient past had. They had like dream tellers. All right, guys, let's get into this. I want you guys to sit right back, grab a drink, and let's just get down with some simple news. Nothing too wild today. We're just gonna go ahead and share some positivity and share some light. Yes, less processed food may be more beneficial for weight loss. Clinical trial indicates. So this is from the university in London. So the University College in London. Pretty great. This just came out over this summer. So this is new research. The study, impact of ultra processed and minimally processed diets following UK dietary guidance on weight and cardiometabolic health, a randomized crossover controlled feeding clinical trial. It was published in Nature Medicine and is one of the first studies showing ultra processed foods and minimally processed foods diets in real world conditions, as well as being the longest experiment study of the UPF diet to date. So the trial split 55 adults into two groups. One group started with an 8-week diet of minimally processed foods such as overnight oats and homemade spaghetti bologna. Oh my God, who even puts bologna in their spaghetti? I guess Europeaners do, but they also like baked beans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, oof. I'm sure they make fun of something that America eats too. So, it's just this. Anyways, after 4-week washout period during the participants went back to their normal diet. They switched to a diet of ultra processed foods such as breakfast oat bars and lasagna ready made meals that were already frozen. So super, super processed. The other group completed the diets in the opposite order. In total, 50 participants completed at least one diet. The provided diets were nutritionally matched in accordance with the Eat Well Guide, the UK's official government advice on how to eat healthy, balanced diet. This includes levels of fat, saturated protein, carbohydrates, salt, and fiber, as well as providing recommended intakes of fruits and vegetables. Participants had plenty of food, more than they needed, delivered to their home, and were told to eat as much or as little as they wanted, as they normally would. They were not told to limit their intake. After 8 weeks on each diet, both groups lost weight, likely as a result of the improved nutritional profile of what they were eating compared to their normal diet. However, this effect was higher on the minimally processed diet compared to the ultra processed diet. These changes corresponded to an estimated calorie deficit of 290 kilocalories per day compared to 120 kilocalories per day. from the minimally processed diet to the ultra processed diet, respectively. To put this into context, the Eat Well Guide recommends a daily energy intake of 2,000 kilocalories for women and 2,500 kilocalories for men. The greater weight loss experience on the minimally processed diet came from reductions in fat mass and total body water, with no change in muscle or fat-free mass, including or indicating a healthier body composition overall. The findings suggest that when observing recommended dietary guidelines, choosing minimally processed foods may be more effective for losing weight. So, what they're saying is ultra processed foods will get you fatter. Minimally processed foods still a bit unhealthy, but they'll keep you skinnier. And so raw foods, natural foods, organic foods, definitely gonna keep you skinny and muscly. Muscly, yes, I said that word. Pretty much, like that's all there is to it. You know, you eat the good meats that you buy from the canaceria or the local butcher, and you get the greens and vegetables, veggies, fruits, yogurts, cheeses that are natural, organic, or like zero to minimally processed, and you'll be skinnier and be healthier. But if you resort to all the frozen ready meals and the ultra sugary drinks and the super processed chips and deep fried Twinkies and all that junk, yeah, it's going to be fattening, and it's going to feel less nutritional profiles than what's required. So, like, this is a new age study just over the summer, and this is what people like me have been saying for like 5 to 10 years or longer. Like, hey, all these ultra processed foods are bad, like McDonald's, like you know, Burger King. You can imagine what else. Like, let's just say one thing I've heard is crumble cookie. Even though crumble cookie is so bomb, they have like 500% times the amount of sugar that you actually need for your diet. So like you eat 2 of those cookies, you're like ODing on sugar nearly. So that's fattening, super fattening, especially with all the just extra stuff in there. We're gonna go forward though. The best thing to do for sure is to eat healthy, to source your foods locally. In my area, we have a lot of chicken farmers. We have a lot of butchers and cattle farmers. So there's eggs, there's meat, there's cheeses, milks, there's all sorts of stuff. And in your area, if it is hard to find, just do your best and try to avoid the ingredients that you can't read. Simple as that. I like to say if you cannot read the ingredients on the back of the product that you're going to buy and it looks like it's some chemical lab made yellow 45 titanium phosphate mumbo jumbo, probably don't buy it. If you can look at the products that you're about to eat and read them and see, egg, flour, vanilla, natural stuff that it comes from plants or animals, eat it. It's going to keep you skinnier and it's going to make your muscles come out more. Going to reduce the fat and you'll be healthier. Your brain will be sharper. Your skin will look better. And that's all there is to it on the eating part. The working out part is something different, We're going to go forward though. Eat healthy, stay healthy. You live a good long life because, hey, man, there is only one person that can control what food goes down your mouth, and that is you. 100%. Next. So here's from the Hiroshima University from Japan. Stevia leaf extract has potential as anti-cancer treatment. So I've been hearing a lot about stevia and, as a sugar replacement, sugar substitute. And I like to have stayed away from it as far as talking about it because I didn't know too much about it. And there wasn't really an extreme amount of research, I guess, until recently. And so it's cool to actually see this. So Stevia rabondania, the candy leaf, is right here, is a sugar replacement that you can get at stores, get at most restaurants now. You can buy it for yourself, use it in your coffee, use it in your teas, sugars, lemonade, whatever, whatever you want. You throw it in your pot brownies if you want to. Yeah, smart idea, huh? It's a beneficial substitute for sugar, for sure. It's a 0-calorie sugar substitute when fermented with bacteria isolated from banana leaves. Stevia extract kills off pancreatic cancer cells, but doesn't harm the healthy kidney cells. So that is super cool. It kills pancreatic cancer cells and doesn't harm healthy kidney cells. So if anybody is going through pancreatic cancers, and let's just say your grandma, your auntie, your mommy, your uncle, your daddy, poppy, or even you're going through some pancreatic issues, do this right here. Find banana leaves, which honestly, I don't think it's too hard. I'm not too sure though. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we could figure out how, I guess, later on. But look, let's just say, how about this? Over the next 6 months, maybe to a year, be on the lookout for this product. It's probably going to come in the market somewhere in some way or fashion. You can probably buy it online from like Amazon, stevia extract, stevia banana leaf extract, or something. Or you can figure it out yourself. All I know is that stevia is being proven to be a very good, healthy sugar substitute. So, I don't know how it affects the diabetes part and people who actually who let's just say either are too low on sugar or get too high on sugar or whatever. I don't know how it affects that, but let's just call it what it is. The pancreatic cancer is highly invasive and prone to metastasis, showing significant resistance to existing treatments such as surgery, radiotherapy, and chemotherapy. As such, there is an urgent need to identify new and effective anti-cancer compounds, particularly those derived from medicinal plants. Pretty sweet, man. I know that a lot of our elderly are suffering these days with all sorts of different illnesses, cancers, and it almost seems like cancer's on the rise nationwide on all sorts of different things, obesity, heart cancers, all sorts of different things. Like health problems are on the rise. So this is a good study, and I'm glad that the University of Hiroshima put this out. Even in some of the darkest places that mankind has ever known, light can still come out of it. To enhance the pharmacological efficacy of natural plant extracts, microbial biotransformation has emerged as an effective strategy. And that will lead right into our next one. So, from phys.org, I don't know. It's a new research from Plants, People, and Planet magazine. And so the research is study finds certain fungi boost the micronutrient content of wheat bread. When investigators grew different types of wheat with and without the arbuscular mycorrhizal fungus Rhizophagus irregularis, they observed that crops grown with fungi develop larger grains with amounts of phosphorus and zinc. So, yeah, they threw fungi with the wheat, either growing from seed or, it seems like they grew it from seed or in the soil, whatever. The higher amount of phosphorus in the grain did not result in the increase of phytate, a compound that can hinder digestion of zinc and iron. As a result, bread wheat grown with fungi has higher bioavailability of zinc and iron overall compared with bread wheat grown in the absence of fungi. Beneficial soil fungi could be used as a sustainable option to exploit soil-derived plant nutrients. In this case, we found potential to biofortify wheat with important human micronutrients by inoculating the plants with mycorrhizal fungi. And oh, you know what's funny, guys? If you find a mycorrhizal fungi uh, supplement or soil enhancer and you put it with your cannabis plants, or you put it with your tomato plants, or you put it with your raspberries, your onions, your peppers, whatever, it will grow better. And so I don't know why they just said wheat bread, but it's kind of, it works for everything. So mycorrhizal fungi, it goes into the soil, goes into the dirt, the ground, and it spreads out like little nerves. The fungi is a mushroom, so sporish, but in this form, it works like little nerves and neurons and attachments, and it starts attaching and connecting everything that's living and useful in the soil. And then when it touches things that are dead or toxic or unuseful, it'll absorb it and clean it, and like clean the soil from the toxicity of whatever it's touching. So it'll clean the toxic stuff and boost the healthy stuff. um it's very similar to the study where trees have been shown to be connected at the roots, and they feed each other nutrients and tell each other signals and things like that. It's very similar in that manner. Mycorrhizal fungi, you can 100% use it for your cannabis plants, and your cannabis will grow beautiful, and the soil will be very healthy, and you'll notice it'll be lively. It won't be dead and like hard and stuck. Like, no, it'll be yeah, you'll know the difference. You can put it on any plant. You can put it in your indoor or outdoor house, gardens. So mycorrhizal fungi, the best thing to add to your garden. Next up, right here. So this is from the White House itself. This is talking about the 2028 Summer Olympic Task Force. Yes. Today, President Donald Trump signed an executive order establishing a White House task force on the 2028 Olympics. The executive order establishes a task force to lead federal coordination for where is it? Sorry. For Olympic events. Comprised of members of President Trump's cabinet and key government agencies, President Trump will chair the task force. Vice President J.D. Vance will serve as vice chair, and an executive director will manage daily operations. The task force will coordinate with federal, state, and local partners to manage security, transportation, and entry-exit processes. The task force will streamline visa processing and credentials for foreign athletes, coaches, officials, media. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. This order underscores President Trump's commitment to showcase American pride, hospitality, and economic opportunity through sports tourism. So they're really going to be on point with the athletes, coaches, officials, media. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. The 2028 Olympics will be a premier opportunity to showcase American exceptionalism and drive economic prosperity. It'll be the first games hosted in the United States since 2002 and will be the largest Olympics ever. The games are expected to generate $18 billion in nationwide economic activity, fueling a massive boost for tourism, hospitality, and infrastructure development. The games are expected to support approximately 90,000 full-time equivalent jobs, generate $6 billion in labor income, and contribute around $700 million in tax revenue to state and local communities. Over 15 million visitors are anticipated, spurring economic growth through increased spending on retail, dining, entertainment, and accommodations, with lasting benefits across our nation. It is imperative that the United States make appropriate preparations to secure the safety of all athletes and spectators to fully realize the potential economic benefits of this event. In his first term, President Trump was instrumental in securing the United States bid for the LA Olympics. Oh, so interesting. I wonder why he wanted there. Interesting. President Trump established a White House task force on celebrating America's 250th birthday to showcase our nation and celebrate American greatness. Wow. All right. Major sporting events will complement America's milestone year, including 2026 FIFA World Cup, 2025 Ryder Cup, and the 2026 President's Cup, all hosted in the United States. So I believe golf, soccer, and I don't know. I don't know what the other one is. So they're going to have big tournaments here in America. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. President Trump signed an executive order revitalizing the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition to promote healthy lifestyles and athletic excellence. President Trump signed an executive order to save college sports, directing his administration to consult with U.S. Olympic and Paralympic teams to protect the role of college athletes in developing world-class American athletes. Hosting the 2028 Summer Olympics will be a historic opportunity to unite the nation, celebrate American excellence, and reinforce our status as the premier global destination for major events. Ooh. So, we're going to see a big push to clean up LA like they did years ago when, all the COVID stuff and things with Xi Jinping and you remember Gavin Newsom, he said he's going to clean up California or clean up LA or San Francisco, whichever one it was, one of those bigger cities. And they cleaned it up. No homeless, no junk on the streets, no poop on the streets. And it was spotless, I guess, right? So they're probably going to do the same thing. It's going to be a big cleanup crew over there in 2028. Next up, Titan submersible OceanGATE was using intimidation tactics to avoid scrutiny. So they had a crash that was completely avoidable. So it should have never happened. Remember this OceanGATE? Remember they took a submarine down into Alaska, or not Alaska, my bad, that's north, Antarctica. So they wanted to go check out where the Titanic had crashed. And I don't know, if one of the world's most historical boats ever crashes in a location, I wouldn't want to go back. Isn't that a bad luck spot, I would think so, 100%. I think that it was dumb to go there, first of all, but it's also dumb to use intimidation tactics to avoid the authorities from stopping you from driving your submarine into a very dangerous spot. Not just any submarine, but a submarine that was not even fit or ready or good to do that. So yeah, here let's read into this. The U.S. exploration company OceanGATE used intimidation tactics to evade regulatory scrutiny in the years leading up to the June 2023 Titan submersible tragedy. According to findings released by the U.S. Coast Guard Tuesday, those conclusions are part of over a 300-page report released by officials into the incident, which killed 5 people on board when the sub imploded underwater while on an expedition to see the wreckage of the Titanic. This marine casualty and the loss of 5 lives were preventable, Jason Neubauer, who led the Coast Guard's investigation. Oh, man. For several years preceding the incident, OceanGATE leveraged intimidation tactics, allowances for scientific operations, and the company's favorable reputation to evade regulatory scrutiny. By strategically creating and exploiting regulatory confusion and oversight challenges, OceanGATE was ultimately able to operate Titan completely outside the established deep sea protocols. The report outlines several key causes behind the Titan submersible demise that includes the fact that the design and testing processes for the Titan did not adequately address many of the fundamental engineering principles that would be crucial for ensuring safety and reliability in such a hazardous environment. The report also faulted OceanGATE for its continuous use of the Titan sub, even though the vessel had previously been damaged in a series of incidents that likely compromised the integrity of the hull and other critical components of the submersible. Whoa! I had no idea about that. That is news to me. So not only was the submarine not even made to pretty much, it wasn't made to do that. It wasn't made to go there. Not only that, but it's been damaged multiple times before that actually compromised it even further to make it not ready, not good to go. So these guys completely were taking a submarine that people knew wasn't good to go. Like, it's like taking a car out that people are like, oh, that you shouldn't be driving that. Like 100%. Like, don't drive it. Don't drive it, And then someone goes and drives it and then they mess up. They wreck. Wow. It's some rich people and people's family members died. It sucks. On the days of tragedy, the sub's hull experienced a critical event that compromised the structural integrity of its pressure valve, resulting in an instantaneous and catastrophic implosion. The Coast Guard report also found that OceanGATE had a toxic safety culture and corporate structure, that its operational practices were critically flawed, that included a workplace environment which used firings of senior staff members and the looming threat of being fired to dissuade employees and contractors from expressing safety concerns. In February 2018, OceanGATE's former director of marine operations filed a whistleblower complaint with the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, alleging he was dismissed because he voiced concerns about the first Titan hull's development and testing plans. Doesn't that sound familiar with Boeing, where people got in trouble because they were trying to expose Boeing wasn't safe? Yeah, that sucks. That is wild that you try to tell talk about how a company is dangerous or whatever and they fire you. Well, in this case, the people who were doing the bullying and doing the negligence, they died. It sucks. I mean, I guess they were in the wrong the whole time. It man, it kind of reminds me right now, like instantly. Just within the last week or two, there's been a wanted man going that just got posted online, I guess, for killing his boss or something. So a farmer, whatever, mid-20s, 30s, whatever. He killed a farmhand, overseer, helper, boss man, supervisor, whatever, one of those guys, someone probably with authority, because supposedly it was mistreated. The overseer overstepped his boundary many times, was very disrespectful to all the employees, was racist, was sexually harassing women, and then I guess the man got fed up and took his life. And I think it's like I this is interesting. I've been hearing, and not just hearing, but I know just from my own research, and it's obvious right now that like we're in a new age, right? Supposedly, it's called the age of Aquarius. Well, that's what like this is. We're in a new Kali Yuga. We're in a new eon, a new era, a new time, and I think like all the evil is gonna get exposed and like hurt, and all the evil that they had weighing on were weighing down on people. It's gonna be reversed and thrown back on them, which is kind of what you see with the Diddy, the Epstein, some of these big names out in society right now. Jay-Z, they're all getting they're all getting everything thrown at them. Their life's going down. Even people like Bill Gates. What happened? His wife took half his money. I think what Bezos, same thing, or um, Elon Musk is going through it. Uh, some of these guys who play dirty, they're all um, getting battled. They're getting damaged. They're getting themselves in like deep shit and trouble. And I even heard just within this last week, I think the Clintons are getting subpoenaed because of their involvement with Epstein. Sheesh, that's insane. You would never think that they would exist if with the Clintons in real deep shit court, even though you knew that they have all this stuff. But I mean, hey, if that's where the cookie crumbles, shit, get some milk and enjoy. so so let's see. The whistleblower complaint was not processed in a timely fashion by relevant U.S. federal agencies, and the ex-employee withdrew the complaint. The 2-year investigation has identified multiple contributing factors that led to this tragedy, providing valuable lessons learned to prevent a future occurrence. Among those killed aboard the doomed vessel was Stockton Rush, co-founder of OceanGATE, the Washington state company that owned the Titan. The implosion also killed veteran Titanic explorer Paul Henry Nargolet, 2 members of a prominent Pakistani family, Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman Dawood, and British adventurer Hamish Harding. The Coast Guard's finding pointed the finger mainly at Rush, who investigators said ignored warnings about the hull damage that had been identified during a previous exploration in 2022. Mr. Rush had overconfidence, which influenced OceanGATE's personal contractors, mission specialists, creating an environment where safety concerns were ignored or underemphasized in favor of operational continuity. Had Rush survived the tragedy, the Coast Guard said it would have been recommended that the U.S. Department of Justice to consider pursuing a criminal investigation into his actions, which the report said exhibited negligence that contributed to the deaths of 4 individuals. Oh, so yeah, wow, pretty intensive report right here. That the submarine. I mean, look at it. That they went down in something a high schooler makes for his science experiment in one of them rich schools. Dude, this thing doesn't look like it's ready to be taken down into the ocean's depths. It's insane. I wouldn't have went in the vessel that they tried to go down into deep waters, cold waters, rigid, rocky, wavy, stormy waters. I would have not went there. These guys are crazy. Next up, um, right here, RFK Jr. cancels $500 million research. I can't say it or else I'll get flagged and pinged. So he's gonna provide safer alternatives with the HHS. So pretty cool stuff. Let me show you guys that. So there's gonna be a whole big push to redo the medicine and pharmaceutical and virus type of research and all that. Pretty much, what I think is that we're gonna just clean out the ingredients. There's gonna be a lot of ingredients. America is gonna clean out the ingredients, and that's kind of what's been happening, right? Where we see a lot of companies going to organics, natural ingredients, stripping out from their products. But I mean, there still is some companies that want to be like completely modified and horrible and poisonous. But we're seeing it though. We're seeing a push in America that there's a huge side of people who don't want their kids to get autism, who don't want to have early balding, or to they don't want their muscle dysfunction or diabetes or obesity or any of these other health products that are being caused by these medicines and foods. So I don't want to read this too much, because I think if I read this article, my channel will get pinged. So yeah, if you want, go ahead and check it out. Next up, though, Clinton's subpoena to testify in congressional Epstein investigation. Ooh, snap. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary are among profile figures to be sent legal summons by a congressional committee investigating the late Jeffrey Epstein. Republican James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, issued subpoenas to the Clintons and 8 others. The committee is seeking information about Epstein's history after President Donald Trump's administration decided against releasing more federal files on the dead financier. The decision sparked outrage among Trump supporters and some Democrats who refused to accept the Justice Department's statement that there was no incriminating client list. Sure, buddies. Amid a rift between Trump and some of the supporters on Epstein, the committee made up both Democrats and Republicans recently voted to issue the subpoenas. The panel has also subpoenaed the Justice Department itself for the records relating to Epstein. Lawyers for Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's associate, who is currently serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking, had indicated she was willing to testify before a powerful investigatory committee with strict legal protections. Her Schedule 11 August deposition, though, has been postponed indefinitely. The Epstein legal saga has spanned 2 decades, with Florida police and the Federal Bureau of Investigation first scrutinizing the well-connected tycoon for allegations of sexual abuse in the early 2000s. Comer wrote in letters that each person of the committee must conduct oversight of the federal government's enforcement of sex trafficking laws generally, and specifically in handling of the investigation and prosecution of Mr. Epstein. He also indicated that depositions will start this month and run through autumn, with Bill Clinton scheduled for the 14th of October. Former attorneys General Merrick Garland, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, Alberto Gonzalez, Jeff Sessions, William Barr, James Comey, Robert Mueller. So, everyone. The Clinton administration predates the Epstein investigation, but the couple's critics, they have long questioned their relationship with Epstein. A spokesperson has acknowledged that Bill Clinton took 4 trips with staff on Epstein's private planes in 2002 and 2003 and met with Epstein in New York in 2002. Clinton also visited Epstein's New York apartment around that time. The letters to Clinton cites that these incidents, as well as other alleged encounters and connections, as reasons for summoning them. Citing flight logs, U.S. media have previously reported Clinton flew on Epstein's jet up to 26 times, occasionally without his Secret Service detail. In 2019, a spokesperson said the former president knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to in Florida years ago, or those which he had been recently charged with in New York. The Clinton Foundation and Bill Clinton's press office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The committee is seeking all of the department's documents and communications on Epstein and Maxwell relating to or referring to human trafficking, exploitation of minors, sexual abuse, or related activity. It is not immediately clear if individuals named by Comer will appear before the committee, and if they do, whether they will testify publicly. Over the last 200 years, only 4 other former presidents have received subpoenas from congressional committees, and only 2 provided testimony. Notably, the committee investigated the January 6, 2021 riot. Then it was disbanded. Federal prosecutors charged Epstein with sex trafficking in 2019. He died by suicide, supposedly. And this summer, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced her departure after conducting a review and found no evidence of a long rumored client list. She also said evidence supported that Epstein died by suicide. The government released no more files, and so it's definitely shady what the CIA and the FBI are holding back, because remember, they were some of the first people into Epstein's castles. I think he had multiple properties. He had one out in Arizona, or no, New Mexico. Zorro Ranch. He had another big house in New York, which was previously owned by the owner of Victoria's Secret. And then he had his, Epstein Island. So he had three big locations. Kind of like, who else had 3 big locations? Diddy. Remember, his New York, his Miami, and his LA, and they all got raided simultaneously. It's strange that, yeah, you definitely see even some of the presidents. So imagine this: Donald Trump and his cousin Hillary Clinton. Yes, if you didn't know, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are like cousins, second cousins, because of their family members. So like their cousins married their cousins, whatever, something like that, or their aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, or something is related somehow. Anyways, Trump and Clinton are cousins, and they're both involved in the Epstein files, and neither of them want to be neither of them want to be caught. So imagine that. Like, so what can happen from there? Oh, they control the CIA, the FBI, or these big time organizations, and they're like, hey, don't release the list. We're gonna play this out and draw this out and drag this out as long as we can, and avoid and dip and duck and dodge and dip and duck, dodge, dip. Do whatever they can to avoid that. And credential patients, kind of like, who else? Sorry about the mute. Sorry about stopping. Yeah, it is absolutely atrocious that the government wants to hide this Epstein files, right? So I'm glad that some of these House people, the Republican and Democratic politicians who are probably in let's just say the middle class area ish, they're not super elite upper class like these other guys like Trump and Clinton's. So these middle class politicians are pushing to subpoena the rest of these people who are hiding. And it's amazing now, because now the internet has allowed this type of stuff to go viral in public quick, where these politicians can quickly on Twitter be like, hey, this is what we're doing in the House. Like, the presidents are doing too much, and they're like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, those Republican and Democratic politicians, they would have to wait to go on air, or wait to get their stuff out in the newspaper, and it might be rejected or might be deleted. Their story might not even hit the news, right? But now, because of Twitter and Facebook and all the sites, these politicians are going after each other, cutthroat, and they don't give one care. The middle class politicians want to destroy the upper class elite politicians that have been running it. Like everyone thinks, new guard versus the old guard, and it kind of is the same way with these politicians, where some of these politicians, they're dirty. Trump, Clinton, Barack, Biden, all of those, right? And you see some of these younger guys, younger girls, and there's a different type of fire. It's not a sellout type of fire. It's like, no, they're fighting for truth and they're fighting for you. And because of the internet, they actually have a chance. The internet gives us a fighting chance. More, as much as we hate it, as much as all the toxicity, there is so much potential and positivity and so much momentum we can gain. There's a lot that the internet could do for us if we use it right. And so the Clintons are being subpoenaed. This is insane news. You would, like I said, you would never think that you would see this, but hey, it's come to the light of day where all the evil is being exposed, the darkness is being exposed, all the people who've been wronged, all the people who've been hurt and abused and trapped and trafficked, wrongfully accused, who have been robbed and stolen and beaten, and who have had family members killed. We're all getting our justice back. We're all getting our limelight back. We're the people, the middle class, the lower class is getting theirs. Like we finally have a chance to stick it to the elites, you know. And the elites, they're suffering, they're panicking, they're running, because they've spent so much time fighting with each other and trying to devise plans to destroy the lower middle class, that they just never saw the bigger picture, the longer picture. They always thought that they could control everything forever, but they don't. They can maybe control a moment here and there, possibly, but God has his hand on things like this. You can tell. I hope these two go down. I swear. From everything that I know about these two and how much bodies this murderous, devious, psychopathic woman, 50 some of her friends have died, 50 some of her bodyguards, friends, associates, lawyers, buddies, longtime family. Yeah, that's not normal, man. And rest in peace to all the bodies that this devil, Hillary Clinton, has caused. Next up, we're going to go and enlighten ourselves. Check this out. Discovering new materials. AI can simulate billions of atoms simultaneously. Researchers at the USC Vertebrate School of Engineering have developed a revolutionary AI model that can simulate the behavior of billions of atoms simultaneously, opening new possibilities for materials designs and discovery of unprecedented scales. The current state of the world's climate is a dire one. Brutal droughts, evaporating glaciers, and more disastrous hurricanes, rainstorms, and wildfires devastating us each year. A major contributor to the global warming is the constant emission of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Aichiro Nakano, a USC Vertebrate professor of computer science, physics, and astronomy, and quantitative and computational biology, was contemplating these issues after the January wildfires in Los Angeles. So he reached out to longtime partner Kenichi Nomuro, a USC Vertebrate professor of chemical engineering and materials science practice, with whom he collaborated with for over 20 years. Discussing these issues together helped spark their newest project, Allegro FM, an artificial intelligence driven simulation model. Allegro FM has made a startling theoretical discovery. It is possible to recapture carbon dioxide emitted in the process of making concrete and place it back into the concrete that it helped produce. Now you can just put the CO2 inside the concrete, and then that makes a carbon neutral concrete. They call this CO2 sequestration, or the process of recapturing carbon dioxide and storing it. By simulating billions of atoms simultaneously, Allegro FM can test different concrete chemistries virtually before expansive real-world experiments. This could accelerate the development of concrete that acts as a carbon sink rather than just a carbon source. The breakthrough lies in the model scalability. While existing molecular simulation models are limited to systems within thousands or millions of atoms, Allegro FM demonstrated 97.5 efficiency when simulating over 4 billion atoms on the Aurora supercomputer at Argonne National Laboratory. This represents computational capabilities roughly 1,000 times larger than the conventional approaches. The model also covers 89 chemical elements and can predict molecular behavior for applications ranging from cement chemistry to carbon storage. Concrete is also a very complex material. It consists of many elements in different phases and interfaces, so traditionally we didn't have a way to simulate phenomena involving concrete material, but now we can use this Allegro FM to simulate mechanical properties and structural properties. Concrete is a fire-resistant material, making it an ideal building choice in the wake of January wildfires. But concrete production is also a huge emitter of carbon dioxide, a particularly concerning environmental problem in a city like LA. So they made a way to make concrete that isn't harming the environment. Hey, it's good because concrete is literally being used like everywhere. Um, you know what? I was going to read this article, but now I just realized it's in another language halfway. So we're gonna skip this next article. There we go. Now, light reveals secrets encoded in metasurfaces. By leveraging the concept of chirality, or the difference of a shape from its mirror image, EPFL scientists have engineered an optical metasurface that controls light to yield a simple and versatile technique for securing encryption, sensing, and computing. So imagine trying to wear a left-handed glove on your right hand. It doesn't fit because the gloves don't match the hands. And this handedness is what scientists call chirality, and it plays a fundamental role in biology, chemistry, and material science. Most DNA molecules and sugars are right-handed, while most amino acids are left-handed. Reversing a molecule's handedness can render a nutrient useless or a drug inactive or even harmful. Light can also be left or right-handed. When a light beam is circularly polarized, its electric field corkscrews through the space in either a left-handed or right-handed spiral. Because chiral structures interact differently with these two types of twisted light beams, shining a circularly polarized light on a sample and comparing how much each twist is absorbed, reflected, or delayed, lets scientists read out samples' own handedness. However, this effect is extremely weak, which makes precise control of chirality an essential but challenging task. So, depending on how things are structured, is the way it performs. Meaning, also, when we see the Pyramid of Giza, when we see the Stonehenge, the Easter Island stuff, when we see all these ancient geometrical megastructures and buildings, and they're shaped in certain patterns, and where light beams can go through certain holes, and they're on certain locations on hills or mountains that they know, like people know, have a lot of energy. Yeah, you can bet that a lot of these structures are also doing some. They're doing something to the energy field, which is why when people like, it's unbelievable. But people say when they go to the pyramids, there is an incredible energy that is unexplainable. You walk into the pyramids, you walk around them, and you feel like nature is connected, or you feel connected to the universe or nature, and you feel like there's this almighty peace. Your bones don't hurt. It's quiet. There's like a positive vibe, just something magical, right? Something energetic, electrical. So scientists from the Bio-Nanophotonic Systems Laboratory and EPFL Schools of Engineering have collaborated with those in Australia to create artificial optical structures called metasurfaces, 2D lattices composed of tiny elements that can easily tune their chiral properties. By varying the orientation of meta-atoms within the lattice, scientists can control the resulting metasurface interaction with polarized light. Our chiral design toolkit is elegantly simple and yet more powerful than previously approached, which tries to control light through very complex meta atom geometries. Instead, we leverage the interplay between the shape of the meta atom and the symmetry of the meta surface lattices. The innovation, which has potential applications in data encryption, biosensing, and quantum technologies. The team's metasurface, made of germanium and calcium difluoride, presents a gradient of metal atoms with orientations that vary continuously along a chip. The shape and angles of these meta-atoms, as well as lattice symmetry, all work together to tune the response of the metasurface of polarized light. This is a big brain article that is kind of a lot for me too, but hey, this is great. So technology is just going to get better. Technology and medicine, computers, science, cars, everything that we are about to see is about to get better. Remember, that was even kind of very similar to this. Just recently, there was a way to turn metal transparent. So you'll have like transparent steel or steel that looks invisible or like looks like you can see through it. So yeah, everything's gonna be like insane here soon. I can already I'm putting it together in my brain. Over the next 5 years, like we already have flying cars and robots. Like in 2025 right now, they're in certain areas only, right? But they're here like 1,000%, and some of the public can buy it. And then now we have self-building nanobots and transparent metal, and now we have these ways to encrypt and control light and refract light and data more efficient and better and safer. So we are improving as a society, and things are getting better, safer, smarter, faster, stronger, healthier, happier. And it's all up to you to go with the flow of the future or stay in the slow of the past. Stay in that mud. I'm not gonna stay in that mud. I'm gonna go take flight on the clouds and fly high and be proud and do what God says and bring it down. Because man, that I'm happy now, following what God has given me, and there's new information out there every day. You don't think God has a play in that? Probably. You just gotta get off that toxicity, man. Quit trying to figure out what rappers and celebrities are trying to have sex with each other, and quit trying to figure out what new alcohol and pill is cool to get lost on, or to figure out what club or street it is to kick it on. We don't gain by that, man. And then you see your homies die, you see your friends die, we see our brothers and sisters, are everyone around us, they lose their lives, they get drunk, they have cheating issues, multiple baby daddies, or all sorts of different junk. But every day, instead, what I choose to do, and I just choose to get better. I choose to get better every day. Go at work, go work out, eat healthier, learn some new knowledge, and I stay away from the toxicity. I stay committed to the good vibes and the good times. Sitting on the toilet ripping ass. Oh, dude. So that's what this guy is saying. Rage quit. Oh, horrible. Next up, though, hybrid crystal glass materials from meteorites transform heat control. Michele Simoncelli combines a first principles approach with machine learning to identify a unique material with distinctive thermal properties. Crystals and glasses have opposite heat conduction properties, which play a pivotal role in a variety of technologies. These range from a miniaturization of efficiency of electronic devices to waste heat recovery systems, as well as the lifespan of thermal shields for aerospace applications. The problem of optimizing the performance and durability of materials used in these different applications essentially boils down to fundamentally understanding how their critical or their chemical composition and atomic structure determine their capability to conduct heat. Michele Simoncelli at the Columbia Engineering tackles this problem from first principles. In Aristotle's words, in terms of the first basis from which a thing is known, starting from the fundamental equations of quantum mechanics and leveraging machine learning techniques to solve them with quantitative accuracy. In research published in July 11th at the Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences, Simoncelli and his collaboration, Nicola Marzisi and Swiss Federal Technology Institute of Lausanne, and Francesco Mori from Sapienza University of Rome, predicted the existence of a material with hybrid crystal glass thermal properties, and a team of experimentalists led by Etienne Ballan, Daniel Fournier, and Massimiliano Marangolo from the Sorbonne University in Paris confirmed it with measurements the first of its kind. This material was discovered in meteorites and has also been identified on Mars. The fundamental physics driving this behavior could advance our understanding and design of materials that manage heat under extreme temperature differences, and more broadly, providing insight into the thermal history of planets. Thermal conduction depends on whether a material is crystalline with an ordered lattice of atoms or glassy with a disordered amorphous structure, which influences how heat flows at the quantum level, broadly speaking. Thermic conduction in crystals typically decreases with increasing temperature, while in glasses it increases upon heating. In 2019, Simoncelli, Nicole Marzisi, Francesco Mori derived a single equation that captures the opposite thermal conductivity trends observed in crystals and glasses, and most importantly, also described the intermediate behavior of defective or partially disordered materials, such as those used in thermoelectrics or waste heat recovery, perovskite solar cells, and thermal barrel coatings for heat shields. Using this equation, they investigated the relationship between atomic structure and the thermal conductivity in materials made from silicon dioxide, one of the main components of sand. They predicted that a particular tridymite form of silicon dioxide, described in the 1960s as typical meteorites, would exhibit the hallmarks of a hybrid crystal glass material with a thermal conductivity that remains unchanged with temperature. This unusual thermal transparent behavior bears analogies with the in-bar effect in thermal expansion, for which Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded in 1920. That led to the team of experimental groups of Etienne Ballan, Daniel Fournier, and Massimiliano Marangolo in France, who obtained special permission from the National Museum of Natural History in Paris to perform experiments on a sample of silica tridymite carved from a meteor that landed in Steinbach, Germany in 1724. Their experiments confirmed their predictions. Meteoric tridymite has an atomic structure that falls between an orderly crystal and disordered glass, and its thermal conductivity remains. Whoa, my bad. Where remains essentially constant over the experimentally accessible. Oh shit! Why did it again? Oh, dude, sorry about that. Temperature range of 80K to 380K. Oh my god, my bad. I was changing the font settings and I did it at the wrong time. Upon further investigation, the team also predicted that this material could form from decade-long thermal aging in refractory bricks used in furnaces for steel production. Steel is one of the most essential materials in modern society. Producing it is carbon intensive. So, oh, wow. So, this tritomite could be used to more effectively control the intense heat involved in steel production, helping reduce the steel uh, and its reduction in carbon footprint. So, pretty interesting. Simoncello employed machine learning methods to overcome the computational bottlenecks of first principle methods and simulated atomic properties that influence heat transport with quantum level accuracy. The quantum mechanics that govern heat flow through hybrid crystal glass materials may also help us understand the behavior of other excitations in solids, such as charge carrying electrons and spin carrying magnons. Research on these topics is shaping emerging technologies, including wearable devices powered by thermoelectrics, neuromorphic computing, and spintronic devices that exploit magnetic excitations for information processing. Simoncello's group at Columbia is exploring these topics structured around three core pillars: the formulation of the first principles theory to predict experimental observables, the development of AI simulation methods for quantitatively accurate predictions of material properties, and the application of theory and methods to design and discover materials to overcome targeted industrial or engineering challenges. So we have now a new form of crystal glass material that is very good with heat and cooling and gonna reduce the carbon in steel manufacturing. Next up, Johns Hopkins University scientists grow novel whole brain organoid. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. I ain't gonna lie. The advance could usher in a new era of research for schizophrenia, autism, Alzheimer's, and other neurological diseases. Johns Hopkins University researchers have grown a novel whole brain organoid, complete with neural tissues and rudimentary blood vessels, an advance that could usher in a new era of research into neuropsychiatric disorders such as autism. We've made the next generation of brain organoids. Most brain organoids that you see in papers are one brain region, like the cortex or the hindbrain or the midbrain. But now we've grown a whole brain organoid. We call it the multi-region brain organoid. The research published this month in Advanced Sciences marks one of the first times scientists have been able to generate an organoid with tissues from each region of the brain connected and acting in concert. Having a human cell-based model of the brain will open possibilities for studying schizophrenia, autism, and other neurological diseases that affect the whole brain. Work that typically is conducted in animal models. To generate a whole brain organoid, Katheria and members of her team first grew neural cells from the separate regions of the brain and rudimentary forms of the blood vessels in separate lab dishes. The researchers then stuck the individual parts together with sticky proteins that act as a biological superglue and allowed the tissues to form connections. As the tissues began to grow together, they started producing electrical activity and responding to a network. So they have a live brain. The multi-region mini-brain organoid retained a broad range of types of neuronal cells, which characteristics resembling a brain in a 40-day-old human fetus. Some 80% of the range of types of cells normally seen at the early stages of human brain development was equally expressed in the laboratory-crafted miniaturized brains, much smaller compared to a real brain, weighing in at 6 million to 7 million neurons compared to tens of billions in an adult brain. These organoids provide a unique platform to study a whole brain development. Whoa. I don't even know if that's safe from God's point of view, but like, hey man, science and health and medicine, I guess we're about to understand the brain even better. Or they are, not me, but We need to study models with human cells if we want to understand neurodevelopmental disorders or neuropsychiatric disorders, but I can't ask a person to let me peek inside their brain. Whole brain organoids let us watch disorders develop in real time to see if treatments work or even tailor therapies to individual patients. Using whole brain organoids to test experimental drugs may help improve the rate of clinical trial success. What the? So, like, but how, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, they're about to give these human brain organoids drugs and put them through certain tests to see if these drugs work against autism and different things. But how do they know that this brain has autism, or how do they know that it's working? What are they really doing? What's this connected to? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's something that they're not telling us with this and what they're connecting it to. So they're connecting the brain to a computer, and the computer is running it on what? On an avatar? Is it running it on an AI program? Well, I mean, but this is still new. So all they did, I guess the first thing that they did was they grew the brain, and then now they're gonna run all their stuff. I don't know. That's insane though. So like they create, they can create artificial hearts, artificial brains. You can create an artificial human now, I bet. Next up, programmable chromosome engineering systems enable precise DNA manipulations. A team of Chinese researchers led by Professor Gaoxia from the University of Genetics and Developmental Biology of the Chinese Academy of Sciences has developed two new genome editing techniques known collectively as programmable chromosomal engineering systems. The study, published online in Cell on August 4th, achieves multiple types of precise DNA manipulations ranging from kilobase to megabase scale in higher organisms. Extensive research has demonstrated the immense potential of the site-specific recombined Krellox systems for precise chromosomal manipulation. However, its broader application has been hindered by three critical limitations: reversible recombination reactions stemming from the inherent symmetry of locked sites can negate desired edits. The tetramamic nature of recombination complicates engineering efforts, hindering activity optimization, and residual lock sites after recombination may compromise editing precision. So whenever they try to editing genomes and DNA in the past, it just failed because they couldn't connect it properly and make it work again. But now they found ways to modify genomes and make them work and do it rapidly. So do it fast and efficiently. This is extremely, extremely nerdy language, and I'm not going to sit here and read this. So pretty much, this tells you the gist of the story. And if you guys want, go check it out from the Chinese Academy of Sciences. But there's also, all sorts of news sites covering it now. Programmable chromosome engineering systems enable precise DNA manipulation. So, like CRISPR, the gene editor, like CRISPR is about to go crazy. If they can, I don't even want to think about it. Next up, oh shit, hey man. So right here in the chat, it says they created new sites for amino acids to attach and use other acids to try and block the mitochondrial DNA from restructuring itself. Forced evolution ideology. Yeah, I do think that it is some type of Darwinistic type of thing where they're trying to control it, like how the Darwinism tried to control reality, right? They're like, oh no, everything is ran by what we say and how it goes. And if they're now able to say, oh, these genes are how we say, and your chromosomes are by how we want it to go, things can get really sticky really fast. That's some type of Hitler stuff where, let's just say Hitler had this technology. He could definitely change everybody who he has control under and their DNA and genome to exactly how he wants it to. Yeah, and it's 100% right from here, MK. It's coming from the Chinese Communist Party, and their rule to take over the world. I remember hearing news articles from 90s, the mid 2000s, about how China had one goal, and their goal is to take over the whole world, and they are thinking hundreds of years into the future. Like they're thinking so far ahead. That this is a long game plan for them. That they're not trying to win the 1 day war. These guys are trying to control every facet and everything in our reality. And you even see the push for American land here in our country, right? So I've said this a few times. Um, there was a Dr. Phil. He was on Joe Rogan, and he started exposing how the CCP was buying military land, or land right around military bases. And not just that, but, they're buying farmlands, and they're buying all sorts of different things. They're putting drug dens in California, and laboratories in every state that they can to create drugs and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Like why would they be buying land right by military bases and farmland and try to control that? Oh, maybe it's the genetics. Maybe they're trying to, you know how they go. China has, they're I do think, who was it? Who was it? I forgot exactly who, but someone had said, just that I remember, China is our number one enemy, no matter what way you look at it, smell it, say it, think about it. They will be our number one enemy. So, MK, there's a reason Pooty Poot and Trump want to create this Arctic Sea trade lane. Um, I actually haven't heard about that. What are you talking about that? And you also say, if China loses trade route control to the south China Sea, Russia can stop them from trading by land militarily. China is so big though that it scares me by the size. You know, let's just say Russia takes over the north. Well, like all of China can go to the southern southwest. They can go to the southwest region of China in towards like the mountains and India and all that. Like literally the whole population can move down there, and they can create they have enough space for 4 countries. It's pretty wild. They definitely do need to be disabandoned in some manner and fashion, and the land should be given back to the tribes who have been there, and the families who have been there. But that's the same thing with America. It almost seems like these oligarchs and Zionists and these Kabbalistic leaders, these bureaucrats, they just managed to take over the world's top nations and run them into the ground. So it says the reason why he wants Greenland is because the ocean's calm and the Arctic is the climate. Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, the northern shipping lanes. Yeah, that's gonna be big too, especially with how supposedly, let's just, if what science is saying is correct, how we're experiencing glacier loss, and there's global cooling or global warming or whatever, or the axis is tilting. Either way, the scientists are showing how the Hudson Bay and the northern climates, there's gonna be more trade route and more sea route and more ocean. There's gonna be the route's gonna be clear, and yeah, it's gonna be a very sought after place to drive through, sail through. Essentially, they could collapse China's economy, and it would turn them into a vassal labor state because every country that borders China hates them. Yeah, that is interesting how they're even still like thriving. It's kind of insane. I think also what we need to understand is that like we need to figure out a way that they can't control the raw mineral market. Owning 95% of the raw minerals, 90% of the raw minerals in the world, crazy. We saw the beginning of that with the trade contract they drummed up with Malaysia earlier in the year. Hmm. So these tariffs are hurting them. They're trying to find a way out, but we're boxing them in. Um, what's this entail for America though? So America right now, I mean, I can imagine. Let's just say we succeed over the next 3 years to stint China. Like they've already been retaliating. They were some of the bigger proponents for the whole um, mind virus, CV virus. Um, Even with the fentanyl, they're the ones pushing the fentanyl in here in America. Um, Poisoning, and I think in some way they're entailing their leaders, their scientists, and people have also been in cahoots with Bill Gates and his genetic modification program, and him trying to it's insane. Like they're just if that's the case, yeah, like if we are able to shut down China, then yeah, for sure we can expect some type of retaliation back on us. China can't use European retirement hedge funds to print off fake equity in USD and then hedge it against the yen losing like the US can. Yeah. Um yeah, interesting. I guess you would say they're ran by older currency. Um well, US I think that we have to, in order to fully succeed and to come back to our power, we have to get rid of the support and the cucking for Ukraine and Israel, and our politicians selling out our nation's interests for foreign interests, right? Because I honestly think by the way that Israel is getting its head bashed, and it's getting exposed over there in the Middle East and by all the neighboring countries how they hate them. Oh, I know, I've been down the rabbit hole. Yeah, that's why I'm here in this podcast, man. Um, Appreciate you being here, MK or AKKKI Key. Um, yeah, it's like if we continue on the path that we're going down and we keep on supporting this Israel, uh with the money, the funds, and even Texas Governor Abbott saying, oh, you will get fined $10,000 if you don't donate to APAC, or if you don't donate to Israel, if you don't donate to, like, it's some craziness, right? If we don't stop all that, if we don't stop all this, and completely selling our nation, then other nations are gonna treat America how they're treating Israel right now. How they're bombing over there. I don't deny. I don't doubt one bit that we could probably see some type of like retaliation back here in America, which is probably why they want to build the second Iron Dome. So they only built the Iron Dome in Israel because they knew that they were going to get attacked. They would have been attacked and destroyed long ago because of their Kabbalistic satanic element, right? But now it's coming over here to America where it's ultra Zionism, ultra rich, ultra elitism, right? This ultra satanic Kabbalistic type of bureaucratic oligarch, billionaire, trillionaire, dark satanic cult shit. These guys that came over here now, and the world is seeing it, and that's, I think, also why they want this new Iron Dome. Like, why else? I don't see why America would feel so threatened if they didn't know something was going to happen. Because the only time America sets up parameters is when they know, they prepare for the things that they know are coming. Yeah, so let's see. Politicians have to end to get rid of Israel, because the same people that run Israel are the same people that run every European country in the U.S. Yeah. These Khazarian mafia mobsters, these Kabbalistic mobsters, these ancient families. It's also part of the reason why Russia claims they're the true heir to Rome. Yeah. They both sides bow down to Rome and the Vatican and these ancient bloodlines, right? So these guys are like the part of these OceanGATE, Khazarian. These guys were some of like the blood drinkers and the Canaanite type of offshoot families. Like, they believe that they're the offshoots of Cain and offshoots of Lucifer and offshoots of the fallen angels, which is why they always wear those weird garments and weird things, and they hang out with dark occult magicians like Marina Abramovic and that other weird dark witch lady that I don't care about the name of, but she looks like Satan's child. That's who these guys hang out with. All right, is there any questions in the chat right here that we got going on? Drop any questions you guys got down below. If there's anything that you guys want me to cover and do a deep dive on, I do deep dives all the time, and I cover topics head on. So I'm not gonna pull any information out, and I'm not gonna say it lightly. If these topics need to be talked about, I'm down. Update, I guess, on Travis Decker. Still hasn't been found. So there's no update, really. This dude's wanted for murder for killing his 3 baby girl children over here from Washington State. Ex-military, I think they say he was like an ex-Army Ranger or something, and he has survivalist training. Dude, it's been a month, long gone. I guess that they didn't find the kids' bodies for 3 days. Horrible. Rest in peace to that family. Hey man, I can tell you how to track the behavior of people who up to the Gazars. Yeah, dude, I'm down. Do you have me on socials, man? Add me on Instagram, add me on wherever, bro. Facebook. You can DM me on Twitter, Snapchat, fucking let's see, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitch. What I got Rumble, I got what else? Pretty much all my socials are 509 Divine Pines. Paulina Zepeda, hi, hello, waving in the chat. Divine Pines. So that is my tag pretty much for all my things, where you can DM me any topics, information. If you guys know anybody who could be a great guest, or if you want to be a guest, if you want to come and talk about some experiences you've had with UFO, with paranormal, with the industry, with your experiences with some of the, let's just say, the trafficking, drug, sex, whatever. If you want to expose that, there's, you guys can call, you guys can see me in person, talk to me, and we can figure something out and get your story out there. If you have any new products, if you have a new company and you want to share some work, definitely go ahead and contact me. And I appreciate all of you guys being here, checking in, tapping in, and thank you guys for your time. Hey, man, Kay, thank you for being here. I'm going to skedaddle. I'm gonna go maybe game on some Marvel Rivals. If you guys want to catch me on my gaming streams, catch me on Twitch. If you guys want to game it with me, holler at me. I'm down to play, man. I'm down to interact with my community out there. So I know a lot of streamers out there, they don't want to game it with their community, or they don't want to listen to the community on topics. But hey, man, this is a zero censorship platform. This is a crowdfunded platform, and so I do me and I do the things that I like to do. But if you guys want to hear something, see something, if you guys want to shout something out, hey, I'm all for it. So it's a good place to move backwards into the Xiongningu and how the slab grave culture destroyed China during the Han Dynasty. Man, that sounds like something that I really want to get into. Holler at me, 509divinepines at gmail.com if you guys want to contact me more. Remember, guys, like, subscribe, and share. Tell everybody around that this is going down. If you guys could, and if you guys feel like there was some valuable information or you guys enjoyed my conversation and my time, I couldn't do this without you. And I have I've given a lot of time and money and effort and love into this, and I do this for free. I release these streams for free. The least I could do is ask you guys to donate $1, donate $5 over at Buy Me a Coffee at 509 Divine Pines, Cash App 509 Divine Pines, PayPal 509 Divine Pines. If you guys also could check out my merchandise on my store, I'm gonna pull that up for you guys right now, and please go buy something. Buy something, man. This is fresh gear right here, and people love it, man. Whenever I wear these things out in public, people are like, "Yo, like that's different, bro. Like that's different. Like straight up. Like people like it. They respect it. I created all myself. So I got the images. I do everything myself, man. Literally everything myself. So here it is, 509divinepines.net. You guys can check out this special edition black hat, gold logo. My logo is typically green, but no, it's a special edition here. We got the We Are Not Alone in the Universe hoodie. So on the back, We Are Not Alone in the Universe, and on the front, it has a spaceship with an alien fam. And so you got like the mother, the father, and two kids, and then you got some logos on the side. Right here, next up, we got the Archangel Gabriel hoodie with a Archangel Gabriel prayer. So that's an OG picture of Gabriel. Then you got the Archangel Michael hoodie. You got the OG picture of Archangel Michael stomping out Satan's neck. And you got an Archangel Michael prayer in the back. You got a beast mode shirt, keeping it simple, keeping it clean for all my beasts out there at the gym, the gym beasts and all that. Yeah, man, sometimes you just gotta unleash the beast in life, and there it is. You got a 509 Divine Pines special edition gold logo beanie. You have an Efficient 612 tumbler. You have the God Made You Perfect shirt. It is my favorite creation so far. You got the Old English in front, and on the back you got Matthew 24. They will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. I forgot the full verse. I apologize. It's a bit late for me. My brain's a little foggy. But on the back, they also got the image of this is all me that created it. So it has angels coming to the clouds, exactly how the verse says. And hey, sometimes life just comes together perfectly. You also have the Joan of Arc, the Joan of Arc, the almighty Catholic crusader, the female warrior Joan of Arc, who fought against the evil people in the church. Right here, there's a prayer from her, and so the Joan of Arc hoodie. Then you also have St. Patrick, the Catholic Crusader. And you have a St. Patrick breastplate prayer. And so check it out, guys. Check it out, man. 509divinepines.net. I appreciate you guys' time. I love you guys. Be blessed. Be high. See you guys next time on the 509 Divine Pines podcast. And stay true to your roots, no matter what. Because if not, that tree gonna crumble, baby. You don't want that to crumble. You want to have the fruits of God. You want to have the true fruits of your soul. Be blessed. Be high.